Hi, I wanted to talk about something just really quickly. Well, I always say really quickly, but sometimes it's not so quick. What I wanted to speak about is something that really weighs on my heart. And I think really as I go deeper and deeper into my own psyche, into our collective psyche, and find as much spirit within that as possible. What I really see in this moment fundamentally is this I that exists doesn't feel seen, it doesn't feel met, it doesn't, and in not being able to see and not being able to be met, it cannot reflect, it cannot be met, it cannot know itself. It's like if within the vastness, this need that arises to be met in this certain frequency, and let's call it orange, it might not know that the color orange is simplistically is how it needs to be met. And it might be covered with all of these other layers that are lots of different colors. And so time has taught it that being orange will never be met. So let me try purple and see if I can be met being purple. And that isn't met. Let me see. Or, maybe I try yellow and I'm met as yellow, but it doesn't feel like it because it's not orange. But the confusion, I think, in navigating these spaces is the idea and the feeling somatically that we really do feel like that need is present to be seen, to be known, to be met. And it seems to me a lot of spiritual traditions really try and illustrate this through unity principles. Living it in a principle is not the same as being seen or being met either. There's a gravity and a body and a presence that is there, that something that is mental, as vast as that may connect us to, doesn't give us that warm presence that the embodiment would. And so that piece of being orange or being met as orange becomes almost a protective measure of, can I be met? Can I be seen? Can I be known as myself? And all of the different masks or layers or colors that we end up putting on ourselves to fit in with the world, to try and be seen or be known, and with the hope that maybe eventually we'll be seen or known as, in this case, as orange. The thing is, we often don't question the seeking part because the need at that level is often so strong it doesn't occur to us. And the loneliness that not being seen and met creates such a hunger that the compulsive part of us might come out to really find ways to assert ourselves that might not also look or feel good if we were to really reflect on that, what we would do to fill that need at that very deep level, to not feel so alone and to be known. And it's really interesting because I find that this, specifically this facet, or this color, if you will, this seemingly separate sense of self that is now looking for itself everywhere. We don't often, and certainly are less often taught, to be able to see the pattern of it, to see all of the distortions that arise from the seeking of it, and the innocence within it, and how pure that is, that desire is to be seen and known as itself, and then again in this case as orange. And yet the pain of not being seen and not being known or not being met is such a great pain that we might call this the pain of separation. The longing for ourselves is real. And that takes us on so many amazing journeys of self-discovery in lots of different forms, in lots of different expressions. And that pain is often felt in relationship. And it's taken me this long to get to this point. That pain often that arises in relationship is that we have invested in the other person a real hope or a real wish or all of that unmet me that I desire to be seen and to be known and to be met on the other person. So there's that facet. Also within that pain is when somebody looks at us and meets us in a way that we don't see ourselves. We also feel pain. We feel pain of separation. We feel the other person's pain. We feel our pain. We feel that longing and that desire. So where this gets amplified is in relationship, it's human relationship, but you really could experience it, I think, in often a safer environment in intimate relationship, even though the strength of that might be a lot more exaggerated than just a common human interaction, going to the store or having an interaction with someone there, cashier or someone. When, let's say, your partner says something to you that is like, I see you this way, and that doesn't align with how you want to be seen. I don't want to be seen as, let's say, a liar or dishonest. That desire to be seen and recognizing we're not seen that way, that closes, and we create protective mechanisms over this. We still have that innocent desire, and we see that the way that we're acting, our humanity, that instead of it being in an error or we're learning, our natural instinct is to protect the purity or the innocence of that desire, of that longing to be seen and to be known. And we really hope that somebody can see us as we are. And the beauty of the journey is we find lots of people who can see us. But can they see us as we are? And if they see us as how they're experiencing us and that doesn't feel good to us, how do we relate with that? How does that innocence and that longing, that purity within us, how does that innate desire to know the other or know themselves, what would be natural responses for that as a result? We can understand from that lens how things like shame evolve, how protection evolves, how distortions arise as a result of, in a way, protecting or controlling the way that people see us so that we can not experience the pain of that separation. And in a way that pain is also creating more of a chasm of not belonging to oneself. Like, I already can't see and feel this. I have such a beyond me need, an existential need to be seen and known in this frequency. And maybe some people, they'll do anything. They're available to anything that might help that pain as it grows and as it grows and as it grows. But we don't look at it necessarily through this lens. And certainly if we aren't in contact with the hunger of our own desire to be seen and known within the innocence of that desire, it would be very easy to go through life and tell people who they are, because that's what was done unto us, and thus further hide from one another. I want to point back to something that's just so clear to me in this moment. I exist. I've got a body. This body's clearly here in this dimension, whatever dimension this is. There's a voice, that's me. Whatever vibration is speaking, whatever that's connected to, that's me. I don't need somebody to tell me I exist. I don't need somebody to tell me that my existence, it matters. Because I don't need my existence to matter to somebody else. I just need my existence to matter to me. And I can see where the mind might go with that, like the egocentric, like me and it's all about me. And I can totally hold that. But really I'm pointing to something way more subtle than that, which is the power that animates us all is present for everyone equally. And our own ability to be sincere and transparent and to be self-observant is to the degree that the subtleness of the world is seen and is known. And we come to know that everything is within everything. Not because I say, or not because philosophy says, or not because religion says. All of this are very important. Language that points us back to these same core principles. And the value then at that point is who is living them? What is being lived? If I exist, or I don't, in this case, I don't exist, and I don't fully own the I that's existing here, and that I see that I hurt, that there's an impact, that there's a person here that has wants and needs, and I cannot purify the I as the child, the I as a teenager, as the adult, as the one here with a history and beliefs. If I minimize that and make myself into non-existence, I miss the fullness of life. I miss sitting in all of the layers of reality, all of the layers of consciousness as one consciousness. It's kind of like being in a infinite elevator and, let's say, hotel. That's like, it has floors and you're going up and down all the floors. You can go up and down. You get out on one floor, it's vast out horizontally. Your consciousness is vast in each level or layer horizontally out there. And you could stay in that layer of consciousness forever and not even know that there is somewhere else you could be up. Another layer or level of consciousness that is even greater than that. But the more free you are, the more you see you can go up and down and experience each level of consciousness without getting stuck, without getting tempted to stay. You see the limitations, but you're not stuck and you're not tempted to make all of that reality because you know that there's something more. For me, without that awareness of you existing with wants and with needs, and that you're not asking for permission to exist, here you are right here watching this video with all of your thoughts and your feelings about what it is that I'm saying and what that means to me and how you're co-creating with that, or whatever you are doing. There you are there. Can you just sit with me in this moment and validate the you that exists, that you have wants, that you have needs, that there's an I here. I want, I need. And it's okay for me to meet myself. And I just imagine all the fear of people, like before they even just drop the possibility and the willingness to just sit there for a minute, just for a moment, not do anything else, not create with the mind, not go somewhere else, but just allow for the moment the possibility to exist with everything. I exist. I have wants. I have needs. I don't need to do anything with that. Got this weight in my body. Got the sun on my arms. Breath. Here I am. What better person right now to meet yourself than you? Thank you for being with me.